Welcome to Dicta, your weekly dose of law school and bar exam info. I'm Carrie Ann.
And I'm Puyan, and we're the co-founders of Vinco. So today we're going to be discussing a slightly different topic. What to do if you undergo a life-shattering emergency during law school. So fortunately, I never had to go through something like this, but I know that Carrie Ann did. So I'm just going to be asking her a few questions about that today. So first off, were you a full-time or part-time student?
I was a full-time law student.
And what happened?
So actually, it was sort of an ongoing situation from my first year of law school through my second year of law school. I started experiencing very bad back pain. I always say that law school gave me a tumor because the very first day of law school, I started having back pain, and I thought it was the stress or it was the books, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I was going to doctors and all this stuff. I was in chronic, terrible pain for over a year and a half before finally I was diagnosed with a benign spinal tumor. So luckily it was non-cancerous, but it was extremely painful and it was on my spinal cord. So I had to have surgery in between the fall and spring semesters of my 2L year. And that was a very stressful experience.
Wow. So how did that affect your grades?
So I pretty much tanked in my fall semester of my second year. I had the impending surgery coming up, and also kind of when it rains it pours situations, my grandmother passed away during the middle of the final exam period, and then I had my surgery scheduled for 3 days after that. So if you combine the pain and the death in my family, and I was very nervous about having an operation on my spinal cord. I didn't know what the long-term effects of that were going to be. So it was my worst semester of law school. If you look at my transcript, it's like good, better, what happened, good.
So like your grades tanked. How did that influence your academic trajectory? I mean, were you on academic probation after that, or what happened?
Luckily, I wasn't, and I see this now when I work with students who are in academic probation, that if I had a slightly lower GPA going into that really stressful and terrible semester, I easily could have ended up on academic probation. And that's scary now looking back, that I was just fortunate enough to have that cushion from my 1L year that not everyone has, because 1L year is really hard. So I wish that I had taken some steps to get extra help during that time.
Right. So actually, I was just going to ask you that if you could go back and do it all over again, what would you have done differently?
So I would have talked to the academic support staff at our school. They might have different names depending on what school you go to, but there's someone there, your dean for students or something like that. There's someone there to address these issues when they come up. I would have found out what my options were. I later on found out that I could have had that option to withdraw for the semester. I don't know if I would have done that, but knowledge is power, right? So just knowing that I had that option, I might have asked for accommodations, extensions on my test. It was very hard for me to sit for long periods of time,
right. And
I rushed through. I was also taking a course overload that semester, so I was taking 17 credits. So it was a big hit to my GPA.
Wow.
And it was a lot. I had to sit for 5 final exams. So that was a lot. So I would have tried to maybe get accommodations, but it wasn't my style. I'm kind of like, I can handle anything, put your head down, do more work, push through, and everything will be okay. And yes, ultimately everything was okay, but then I always had to explain that semester for the rest of my law school career. Every internship, every job interview, it was what happened. And, ultimately most people aren't jerks and were nice when I explained the situation. But I'd rather would have not had that happen and had better grades and done that. So I wish I had found out from the school what options were available to me.
So I guess the takeaway here is ask for help. Ask
for help. Don't be stubborn like I was. Ask for help.
Right, and that's pretty good advice for practicing attorneys as well.
Yeah, seriously, that's good. I mean, that's generally good life advice, but really for law students and attorneys. I mean, and that's just one situation. I have students in my office who are in academic trouble all the time, and sometimes it's not them. It's sick family members. It's ongoing responsibility. It's children. It's managing work-life balance. All of this stuff can feel like a crisis, and sometimes it is an urgent crisis. And I think we're just programmed, most people are just programmed to try to just keep pushing through and just to keep going.
Right, yeah.
And really, if you find yourself in a crisis situation like I did, ask for help. There's someone at your law school whose job it is to give you your options and to help see you through the mess that you find yourself in. And I strongly urge you to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm stubborn as well. I don't think I would have asked for help if I really needed it throughout law school. I mean, is there any other advice you think we should give today?
No, I hope that none of you find yourself in this position, but know that if you do, you can find someone at your law school, or you can find us. We're on Facebook. You can join our group, search for Vinco, and you can request permission to join. And if you have anything that comes up, just ask a question. That's what we're there to do. We're there to offer support. Or you could always email me, carrieann@vincoprep.com.
Thanks.